Welcome back to In Mint Condition. I'm your host, Justin. Joining me is my brother and co-host, Mo. You
What's
feeling
up?
all
What's
right?
up? I'm a little congested today, but you know what? We here. We ready to talk.
Oh, well. All right, so today is our Snyder Cut review,
Yes,
breakdown,
sir.
thoughts, opinions. But before we get into that, and that's going to be the main focus of our episode today, but before we get into that, I would like to take a moment to denounce the white supremacist actions that took place earlier this week and resulted in the deaths of 8, 6 of whom were confirmed as Asian women. This, regardless of what they will report, this was a racially motivated hate crime, and it unfortunately is baked into the fabric of our society, and until we root out the systemic issues that help foster this type of behavior, we're going to see more and more of this action taking place. We saw it last summer with the police brutality against black people.
Yeah.
We're going to see minorities targeted because of the systemic issues baked into our society. And so I just wanted to make it known that, as two black guys running this podcast, we're going to try to keep it lighthearted on here as often as possible. But when the time comes to speak out about certain issues, we are going to speak our opinions. We're going to let it be known where we stand on issues so that if you find yourself not agreeing with us, go ahead and turn us off now and don't even bother tuning back in because we're not tolerating racism against anyone. We're not tolerating hatred. We're not tolerating hate speech. We're not tolerating actions being taken against our Asian brothers and sisters. And yeah, that's the whole and short of it. I've spoken about it on Twitter. I've shared resources. I don't know if I've shared as much on Instagram. If not, I'll have to go and rectify that. But I encourage all of you to go out, do your research, look up ways that you can help, look up petitions you can sign, look up sites you can donate to help support those who are going through because of these hate crimes that have spiked. Okay. Anything
Okay.
you would like to add?
Um,
There's not. You don't have to say
I agree
anything.
wholeheartedly with Justin. If he's speaking, it's like it's coming from me as well. So, and again about the people, if you don't agree with us, do not go in the comments trying to start any arguments or
We don't get comments yet. We're not that big.
we. First of all, there's been I saw like 5 comments on the last video. Okay, all right. So we get comments.
Oh, also, I need to make a post. Anchor is back up.
Nice.
I got an email today, so if you were listening through any of their partner sites, partner companies, you can go ahead and get back on that. This episode will be up there. So you can click over if you're listening on YouTube and would rather listen on one of those sites or through Anchor specifically. Okay.
Alrighty.
This episode is 100% focused entirely on Zack Snyder. Not necessarily his Justice League only, but
So what'd you think of the movie, Jay?
I was going to ask you what you thought. But first, actually, I wanted to know, what are your feelings about Zack Snyder in general?
I I like him. I know he gets a lot of hate for his movies being super dark. I think in some cases it can be justified. I know there's been a lot of hate for Man of Steel, which is one of like what I wouldn't say top 10 movies. But I really enjoy Man of Steel. I think it's a great origin story for Superman. It may not be as light as the Christopher Reeves movie. Um but yeah, he gets a lot of hate for his dark tone movies. Um but
Is it hate or valid criticism? We just don't mess with the kid. That's all it is.
see, I would I would go along with the valid criticism point, but this guy right here, he was mad because he saw Apocalypse in the trailer and he was like, "It's too dark."
And I was correct. We'll get
When
into it
Apocalypse
later.
is a world that's on
We'll
fire.
get into it later. I
But
think
go ahead.
that Snyder is an alright dude from everything I've seen him in, all his press stuff. He recently came out the other day and spoke up against the hate groups that have tried to latch on to him and were actually some of the most vocal characters in the whole, not his, but the whole Snyder Cut movement. So he seems like an alright guy, and I want to like more of his stuff. However,
Your heart is so filled with hate.
it's not. I like Batman. I would like to reveal and announce that I like Batman versus Superman,
Same. The Ultimate Edition.
both versions.
I
think
the
it's
theatrical version, I would let you finish. I'm sorry.
silly. It's fine. I don't care.
It
I don't care what any of you have to
I
say.
I like
This
the theatrical
happened
edition. The Ultimate Edition is better because there were things that were in that make the theatrical edition or the theatrical version make more sense. And I feel like it didn't need to be 3 hours if they like cut the right things out and left the right things in. And that'll bring us right back around to Justice League.
We'll get there. But yeah, overall, I think he's cool. I haven't seen, is it Dawn of the Dead? His first movie. 300. It's a classic childhood movie.
Family friendly.
I hate the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Or was it Legends? Was it?
See,
What was the movie called? Because the movie wasn't the
just
title
not
of the
worth
first
it.
book.
it's just not worth it. Let's just move on. I think his Watchmen is as good as a film adaptation is gonna get. I don't think Watchmen is meant to be a film, so the fact that he did it as well as he did, shows that he has skill, he has talent, he has vision, but his execution isn't always seen as we see in Man of Steel, which
This man hates for no reason.
no reason.
No reason at all. Except, oh, it's so dark.
It's not just because it's dark. It's very boring. None of his allegories work. Pa Kent, worst Pa Kent
Look,
ever.
Kevin Costner did the best he could.
See? It's one of the best.
It's
That's what you
It
said.
is. I love
You're a
it.
liar.
It's an amazing movie.
Get out of here, bro.
This man.
Okay, what are your general thoughts about the Snyder Cut? Just keep it brief. Keep it just general thoughts. You
I was
want me to
very
go?
let down. It did improve on some areas that the theatrical edition that I thought were flaws in the theatrical edition, but overall, I think that it was a waste. Or not a waste. He had 4 hours and he did not use those 4 hours to the best of his ability. Could have been better.
I'm glad he got to finish his version. Like I said, he
Yeah.
seems like a nice guy. He dedicated the movie to his daughter, who tragically passed away. And so I want to like this movie more than I did. And maybe by the end of this, I'll come out and say, you know what?
It wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad. But I have lots of notes here. And I don't know if we're going to get through all of them because we want to keep this episode to a reasonable length. But, maybe in the edit, we'll make wise choices. Cut out some of that fat. And, maybe won't make the mistakes of...
This will be a 4-hour
Of
episode,
another
everybody.
man.
I hope you bought snacks.
Okay, so first off the bat, Wonder Woman's first scene is the bank scene. Which if you've seen the 2017 version, she handles non-lethally. Zack Snyder, however, has her murder the assailants, which I don't really care about because there's comic precedent. But there's been a lot of backlash on her killing people. I don't really care, but her smashing the gauntlets to incinerate that guy was excessive.
I thought it was a powerful. No, that was.
She could have just.
She could
I'm
have
not
kicked him through the
saying
window or
like
something,
no,
but
don't kill him, but you
it was
caused
unnecessary.
collateral damage,
It was
which is a
very-
problem that Zack Snyder has faced with Man of Steel. It's useless. She wasn't saving anyone. He was
Yeah,
in mid reload. That's
I-
a war crime, I think.
That's against the Geneva Convention.
She's a menace.
No, I think with Man of Steel, the destruction that was in that movie made sense because you've got these like powerful beings that are like just scrapping it out. Like, of course, things are gonna get broken, but like in this movie,
People died.
but I mean, but like you look at like Superman's like like super powerful being. Like
Something's gonna get broken.
something's gonna get broken.
Lives were lost.
You act like this. What did you want to happen? Like, is one guy against like how many Kryptonians were there that he was fighting? It was like 2 ships on different ends of the world. Like, he had to do what he had to do. So that made sense. I think the amount of lives lost could have been decreased. I think Zack just got a little greedy with it. But in Man of Steel, it made sense. And when Wonder Woman, when she did that to Oh Boy, didn't make sense. Like, she could have like sped up to him, took the gun from him, hit him.
I want to let it be known, I do not think Man of Steel's destruction made sense. That is solely an idea held by Maurice. But yeah, so I think the bracelet blast was too much, especially when they just showed her moving faster than bullets 5 seconds earlier. So movie's already off to a interesting start. It's already causing
That wasn't even the start of the movie.
rifts between the community. Tom Hokenborg scored the film instead of the usuals, but they did use some of the musical motifs of the previous composers, Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. That being said, the score is probably the best music in the movie because every other musical selection is hot trash.
Yeah, it was rough.
The Streets is not playing those songs in rotation. Bunch of white chicks up in the north started singing a hymn. Aquaman went into the ocean. Okay, the music sucked.
The music was bad.
There was a lot of that in the movie.
There was so much for no reason.
Whenever Wonder Woman did anything, it was
It was bad.
pointless.
It was so many. There were so many musical selections in the movie that just, first of all, they felt out of place.
Okay, let's talk about Aquaman. Because he's honestly the bearer of these burdens. So first you had the women in the village singing while he walked into the water. And then you had when he saves that fisherman and he goes in the bar and steals their drinks. And then he leaves out and he's walking down the pier.
Yeah.
The music does not match the tone of what's especially when we've seen it in done better in the previous cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember what song they used?
No.
No.
I remember the one they used in Zack Snyder's was sad and depressing.
Yeah,
the one they used in the original had a nice drum.
Yeah, that was,
syncopation.
It was nice. It was
a little bass, some guitar.
It was better than what they had this time.
And that's the thing. People will say that this version is better in every way, and they are liars.
Oh man, I can't wait till we talk about Darkseid because that was.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So the movie overall is slow, and there's a lot of scenes that are unnecessary. A lot of moments with Lois Lane, and I know he's trying to make an emotional connection for Lois, but she doesn't do anything in this movie. She sits every scene we see her in, she's just crying or reminiscing about Superman.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do anything. I mean, even after Superman comes back to life, spoilers all the way
You
through.
haven't seen it.
Should have put
We
that at
should have
top.
put that at the beginning.
Did not make a note. I said I'll remember to say it this time.
I mean, I guess it's too late now. We've already.
If you've
spoiled
seen the
half
2017 version, you've seen
most
this.
of what we talked about.
And I mean that in terms of the overall plot.
Yeah.
It follows the same beats. Of course, they've changed things, and he's added a bunch. But if you followed the if you've seen the 2017 version, you know what's going to happen in this version, which was somewhat surprising to me, given that everybody was like, they're completely different movies. Tonally, they are.
Yeah.
But plot-wise, it's the same plot.
That reminded me of one of the big things that people were mad about in the theatrical release was that Batman was using a gun from the parody. She was like, "Oh, Batman doesn't use guns or whatever." You're like, this is against Batman. He would, and and then in this movie we see Batman just like blasting the parody. So
Yeah.
we're like the.
I think we just have to accept that this version of Batman uses guns.
Yeah.
I think it was jarring in Batman versus Superman to be like, he's a psychopath. He's murdering everyone. And one of the reasons people get so caught up about these things is that whatever is in the movies to mainstream, that's the canon of the time. Not everybody's reading comic books. That's why the industry hurts so often and needs a pick-me-up every couple of years, because there's not a large readership as there is of people watching films. So whatever the movies show is typically the mainstream canon, or if there's a TV show, that'll be the mainstream canon. That's why the DCEU, for a very long time, I would say up until Snyder's movies, was accepted as the canon for DC outside of the comics. Most people had seen the cartoon shows and they accepted that as the canon. So when we get these movies and we see these interpretations of the characters and it seems like the creators don't understand them, there's pushback, because it's like, this is what the public is going to take. This is what the general mainstream is going to accept, and this is going to be the overall canon. And if something's popular with the masses, comics tend to incorporate that into their stories, which is stupid, because the movies are adapting the comics, so why would the comics adapt the movies? That's something that's always bothered me. But
Thank you for that explanation, but that was way off point for what I was saying.
what were you saying?
I was just saying, like, people were mad at Joss Whedon for Batman using a gun.
Oh, yeah, no, I was saying though that it didn't bother. I don't think it bothered as many people this time around, because we've had since 2016. What's that, like 5 years to get used to this version of Batman and to just say, okay, this is what this universe's Batman does. So one of the things that stood out to me early on is that they copied the Transformers, specifically Transformers Rise of the Fallen.
Revenge of the Fallen. You're just like your father.
It's the
just like your father. He said the same thing. He said, I thought it was Rise of the Fallen.
What was he getting revenge for?
Because the Primes, the other 13, or the 12, because there was 13 total. The 12 took the Matrix, or he tried to control it, use the Matrix for the Harvester. And so they took the Matrix and they hid it from him. So he was getting revenge. He was like, hey, I'm going to take this, the energon from the sun.
Anyway, the Rise of the Fallen.
Revenge of the Fallen. Don't listen to him.
Particularly the bit where they have a little bug creature crawl on one of the humans' faces and project what's in his mind. It's scene for scene.
Not scene.
Defend him.
It's not.
This is your boy. This is your boy emoji.
It's not scene for scene,
This is your
but
boy.
yeah, it was. When I saw the little thing crawling on Steppenwolf, I was like, "Hey, that's the Doctor from Transformers." I thought he was gonna curl up into the Atlantean's mouth when he was laying down. I was like, "Ah, oh, jeez, this is gonna be a rough one." And he just sat on his forehead. I was like, "Oh, they made it better."
Zack Snyder is Mo's boy, y'all.
He's not my boy.
That's his dog.
I enjoy his movies.
He said, "I ride, I die, bump all these others."
Although I will admit, the feeling that Justin had with Wonder Woman 84 when we watched that is the same feeling I had watching this movie. Because I came into the movie with high expectations, like, oh, this is gonna be good. But just
Okay,
every
let's
minute
keep it moving. So, like I said, I think it was very slow. There's a lot of scenes that could have been cut. There's a lot of fat in the movie. A lot of it doesn't build to anything. For 4 hours, if you're gonna make a 4-hour movie, every single part of the movie should be important. There should be a reason that this movie is 4 hours. I don't feel like this movie has a reason to be 4 hours. I think Zack Snyder could have easily cut this down to 3,
if not more.
and still had his vision fulfilled.
Yeah.
I know he likes long movies, but you've got to learn to work into the constraints of the conditions. And granted, there were no conditions this time around. The studio gave him free reign to do whatever he wanted. He wanted to make a 4-hour cut. All right, but the cut has to be utilizing those 4 hours to the fullest potential, and I don't feel like it does. There are so many moments where I was like, this is why it's 4 hours long, because we're staying on this shot for so long. They stretch out parts of the movie. The joke when Barry and Bruce get in the car and Barry's like, what's your superpower? And Bruce is like, I'm rich. You cut on I'm rich. That the scene ends. But in Zack Snyder's version, we have to see them drive off and go on because there's a sight gag. And it's like, okay, this doesn't do anything for the plot of the movie. It's not even a good joke. It's just like, okay, we're stretching this movie out because we're doing stupid stuff like this.
There were so many scenes like that. And I think another thing that contributed to that dragging on was the his slow motion that you love so much.
If he played it at regular speed, that's easily a half hour off the movie.
I was gonna say he does a lot of slow motion shots that I think he could do right if he didn't hold for so long.
A lot of it is the movie's beautiful. Let's not mince words here. Movie looks fantastic. Zack Snyder. If there's one thing Zack Snyder's gonna do, he's gonna make a movie look good. If he don't do nothing else, he gonna make it look good. But it's 4 hours long. What are we?
No, there was the scene where the Amazonian temple that held the mother box was like crashing into the sea. It was a beautiful shot, but it held for like a good 10 seconds. It felt like it was way longer than it needed to be.
It extends forever.
Yeah,
and
there were so many shots like that throughout the entire movie. You're like,
this is why the movie is so long. Cut, please. And when he does cut, the cutting is very sporadic. I made a note of that somewhere in here. We'll probably get to it as we move down. But when I know it was starkly apparent to me when they were talking about the mother box, talking about bringing Superman back.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like cut, cut.
A lot.
Cut. They're just standing around talking. And I saw this scene in the original Justice League paralleled to the Avengers when they're with Banner and they have the scepter in the room and they're arguing about why S.H.I.E.L.D. is making weapons with the Tesseract. The way that scene is shot, there's not a lot of cuts. The camera moves through the characters and it creates a feeling of unease with the camera motion. with this one, it's cuts, 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 and I feel like a more creative solution to showing just a scene of people talking should have been employed, and maybe in reshoots he would have changed how he shot the scene. That's the other thing we're gonna have to remember here is that he didn't reshoot a lot of stuff. They gave him money to shoot certain scenes that he needed to add, but I'm not sure he got reshoot money, or if he even had the opportunity to do reshoots, given the circumstances of COVID and all that stuff. But there was a ton of money poured into this project, and new scenes were shot. So
Yeah.
it is curious. I also was surprised by the amount of stuff from the 2017 version that turned out to be from Zack Snyder.
Like what?
Barry Allen is the same amount of goofy as he is in the original.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You decide.
What do you think? Do you like Goofy Barry Allen or?
No, because that's all they've done in these recent years. Every adaptation of Barry Allen is Wally West because Barry Allen is boring. The original Flash comics were Barry Allen was boring. After the crisis, when they killed him and Wally became the Flash, they did so much new stuff with him. They gave him a different personality. He was younger. He had moved on from the Titans, but he was still, I think, early 20s, if that.
Yeah.
So we've got a more vibrant personality. And on top of that, they add more to the lore. The Speed Force did not exist when Barry was the Flash. It was an invention that came from the writers having Wally be Flash. So that's all the recent adaptations have done is adapt the best parts of Wally West and give them to Barry Allen, which they want to make him more interesting. I understand it, but it takes it for me. It takes away. I'm a fan of Wally West. Yeah. Wally West was the Flash when we were born, and he was Flash all the way until 2009. I want to say was when they finally brought Barry back, but even then, Wally was still Flash. Wally was Flash up until 2011. So when we see
was that when they did the New 52?
Yeah, with Flashpoint, they wrote Wally out. So when we see these adaptations of Barry, I'm including the TV show, and I see these, it's not Barry. I don't think we've gotten a good adaptation of Barry. The Barry stuff I thought was more of Whedon's influence, but it turns out that was Zack's. Batman being an idiot, I thought was more of a Snyder or a Whedon edition, but no, that was Snyder.
Yeah, it was.
That man was so stupid
this
in this
man
movie.
Was awful. Like compared to like Batman versus Superman,
they're not the same, man.
It's not the same Batman.
He lost the spirit, man.
Even if you're like, oh, with Superman dying, you know, he had to change, but like that's like Batman is like Batman.
He lost his love for the game.
He lost his love for the streets, y'all.
He ain't have it in him no more.
Man, like
he ain't have it in him.
Like that's one of the reasons I like Batman vs Superman is like, or the Batman and Batman vs Superman. I like the movie too, but regardless of the killing, like you look at the warehouse fight scene, like that's Batman. Like
it's Arkham. It's not Batman.
All right, but if you think about Batman, like Batman's beating down dudes, like. All right, this man. This man wants Adam West.
He beats down his villains, but he shouldn't be beating down just a.
You gonna say he didn't ever beat down no goons in the comics? You gonna say
I'm saying those aren't the best comics.
But all right, well, regardless, you think about Batman fighting. You're thinking like the dude's like going in, right? But then like
I'm thinking batarang, bam, you're done.
Okay, well,
punch, you're done. Kick, you're done.
Let's meet in the middle and say that. Like, even when he was fighting the parademons in this movie, like, Batman was like
the
soft.
scene when when Batman, and this is in the 2017 version, when Batman grapples, he's running towards a parademon. He grapples the doorway, and then he swings and kicks, and it looks stupid and terrible. That's in this version.
Yeah, that was Zack.
And since Snyder said he didn't use anything from Whedon, that's the beautiful thing about this. Every criticism we have is all on Snyder, because this is all him.
Yeah.
This is all his version. There's no studio interference. There's no other director coming in. There's no other writer coming in messing with what he wants to do. There's no editor coming in cutting what he wants to leave in. This is all him. So every criticism can be levied against Snyder. So if there are any cultists here trying to defend him,
please do. This is what we talked about last week. I am genuinely interested to see what defense.
Well, they love it.
I know. I don't get it.
I mean, if you love it, that's fine.
If you love it,
there's nothing wrong with that.
But
everybody's gonna like what they like.
I'm messing with you.
But dog, I just want better for you.
I do this because I love you.
The
man.
world is so much brighter.
No, it was. And it really is disappointing to see, because like I came in expecting it to be, like Batman vs Superman levels of like good. All right,
I don't know. I like that movie. I don't know if it's good.
I call it good.
I don't know if I could stand before Jesus on the day of
on
judgment.
the day of judgment.
And if he asked me if it was good, I don't know if I could say that.
Why do you want me to lie to you, Lord?
Lord, come on.
Come on now. Is it the best movie? No. I think it's good.
I like it.
I'm not going to go on a tangent
Look,
about
I like it.
I'm not going to go on a tangent about it. It's going to make us go longer. My main thing is Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, which we see in this movie again.
That after credit scene from the year 2017
is a scene.
Is Snyder's.
Except instead of talking about the Legion of Doom.
The League of Their Own.
Yeah,
Does he say that in this one?
No, he tells Deathstroke that Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Okay, that's the other thing about this movie. Either you care about secret identities or you don't.
Everybody was getting out.
Aquaman walked past all them white folks and said, "You're Batman, Bruce Wayne.
You dress like a bat. He did say. He said, "You're Batman."
And then they're standing by an airplane, and Alfred yells. And there's about 4 guys standing by, and Alfred yells about Bruce spending his time in a cave. So all those people know who Batman is.
Yeah. And then when
Barry, that scene when Barry sees the bat signal, he's like, "Oh, that's your signal." So anybody who was standing around when that happened, they know now.
When Superman came back to life.
When Superman comes back to life,
Batman's like, Clark.
Everybody's just, him and Lois are just like, Clark.
Lois ran past the army guys and the police officers like, Clark, don't do it. Clark. Like, bruh, call him Superman.
So, yeah. They end the scene of the movie with him dressed up as Clark Kent with the glasses and the suit and all that. And then he runs and opens his shirt with the Superman symbol and all that. No, you can't have it both ways. Either they don't care about the identities or they care.
I think if you ask Zack Snyder, he would give us like, oh, they were out of ear distance to hear.
They weren't.
Let's, real quickly, I'm sure we'll get back into it later. The black and silver suit, crispy. Superman was dripping in this movie. Like, it was cold. I think I like this better than the Man of Steel suit and the Batman vs Superman suit. I do like the classic, red and blue. That's near and dear to my heart.
No cape though.
The cape, they could have left the cape off. I think that would have been cold.
We do black suit and then no
black
cape.
Black suit's got to go without the cape. He should have had a beard. They should have gave him a beard.
Because in this, he wasn't in a coma. He was dead. You don't grow hair when you're dead.
But he's Kryptonian, not human. We don't know. Justin.
Okay. The pacing throughout the movie was weird.
It was.
I think the order of the scenes could have been changed to tell a more linear story. I would be interested to hear why Zack Snyder chose to order the scenes the way he did.
Because that's the way he filmed them. Can you imagine if you filmed the movie in order? That would be absolutely hilarious. Like, why'd you do it like this? Oh, that's because that's how the order we had to film. I don't. But no, yeah, the pacing was really weird because they would like cut from a scene to another scene that like they would cut like from like a fast high paced scene or something like that to like a slow like dull scene. Like it didn't make sense. I'm trying to think of when exactly that happened. But I remember like the scene before when Aquaman went into like the ocean or whatever and talked to Volko. Yeah, that was like, and then like that scene like slowed it down a lot, and then they like jumped back into the next scene. Like it didn't make much sense the way that things were ordered.
Okay, I have the mouse thing here. Do you remember what that is?
Mouse. Oh, the mouse thing. Sorry if that blew your eardrums out, you guys. So the scene where Diana and Bruce are like looking up where to find like Cyborg, Flash,
Oh, I remember
Aquaman.
now.
They're like, she was like, well, what did he say? He was like, more or less. She was like, more or less, more or less. He said no. He said no. Ha ha ha. So they both reached for the mouse.
Either commit to Wonder Bad or don't do it at all. Don't play with our emotions.
Man, it was like a.
Don't disrespect me.
It was. They're like both reached for the mouse. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
They wish they could be Justice League.
It was like a rom-com kind of.
2003. I think it was 3. Was it 2? I think it might have been 2.
Which Justice League?
The good one.
Oh, you're talking about Doom?
No, the cartoon.
Cartoon. Oh, the show.
2001.
2001.
Good lord.
Wow, that was.
You guys are old.
He said you got.
I'm gonna live forever.
This man's. No, yeah, it was. That was. It didn't. It felt so out of place.
Also, speaking of that scene, I have right here. Thank God Lex gave them that PowerPoint presentation. Or they got the PowerPoint presentation from Lex, because otherwise they would not know how to find these superheroes.
Which sucks because Batman is like the world's greatest detective. And like he relies so much on, like in this movie especially, he relies so much on Lex Luthor and what Lex Luthor told him in the last movie and what Lex Luthor said in the last movie. Like they like brought that up multiple times. I'm like, yeah, why is he like so dependent on like what Lex Luthor had to say about like Superman, superheroes, Darkseid? You know, it hurt.
Then we get the flashback to Cyborg when he was still a human. He's playing football. He was out of bounds. That's not a touchdown.
Yeah, that ball was out of bounds.
He was out. That's not a touchdown.
Definitely out. They were celebrating.
They lost that game.
They should have been.
It was rigged. Those refs. And I think it's funny that they moved them to Gotham. Like, okay, racist much? I know it's not racist, but it could be. It could be.
I mean, they did try to have like a little racial tension when his mom was talking to like the dean
The
or
teacher,
whatever.
yeah. I like Cyborg actually had character and emotion.
Yeah.
But the overall problem with this movie is that it's introducing 3 brand new characters, none of whom have had their origin story. If we're viewing this as this comes out in 2017 in place of that version, Aquaman doesn't have a movie yet, and to this date, Flash and Cyborg don't have a movie. So
Although,
this is trying to origin 3 brand new characters, and I don't think any of them are done justice right.
Isn't Flash supposed to be getting a movie at some point? Flashpoint, isn't that?
That's what they saying.
Okay, I know that was like in the talks. I couldn't remember if that's like actually.
Man, you know how many directors done dropped off that project?
I was gonna say it's been a lot.
They like
They're like, oh, such and such picked it up. Such and such is gone. But guess what? But no, yeah, And another thing, now that we're talking about that, Mara had like this like half British accent in this movie that I don't remember having in the
She
2017,
didn't.
and she definitely didn't have in Aquaman. And it was like I was sitting there listening to her like the first time I heard her talk, I was like, does she have an accent? I was like, I gotta be just tired or tripping because she kind of had an accent. And then I heard her talking, I was like, where did this come from? Like it didn't make any sense whatsoever. That I mean, if that's what they had done with her before, that's fine. Mary can have a British accent, but like it goes completely off the Aquaman movie because
Well,
she didn't
this
have.
isn't canon. If this universe continues, 2017 Justice League is the one that's canon.
Okay.
Zack Snyder has come out and said that his version is not canon, much to the chagrin of his followers. There was weeping and gnashing of teeth.
No, that just definitely like it threw me off. I was like, wait a second.
They upped her powers though,
They
and that
did.
was awesome. She pulled
She was
freaking
handling.
blood out of Steppenwolf.
She was handling them.
That was awesome.
It was sweet.
Look at that. We got good things to say about this movie. It's not all terrible.
The favorite part, the thing that me and Justin loved
Best part of the
the
movie.
most was that Steppenwolf's helmet. The horns are his head.
Oh no,
And
no,
not-
no. I thought you were gonna say something else.
Oh yeah.
I think Steppenwolf's design is terrible.
Yeah, I
Give me 2017 Steppenwolf.
no.
Yes. I
I
bet you his head is normal.
I like
Go ahead, lie to these people.
I like it more than 2017, 100%. I like it a lot better than the 2017. I agree with you that the spikes are too much. I'm gonna meet you halfway, and I'm gonna say the spike armor and the horns on his head, not on his helmet, are too much. If they had done like his design in this movie with like the armor in the last movie, I think that would have been a more appropriate Steppenwolf or a better Steppenwolf.
Okay, we're gonna move this way.
Go ahead.
If you're going to adapt the
No,
fourth
all right,
world,
no. Give him the hat and the booties.
you do it correctly.
Give him
If you don't know what the
lime
fourth world
green.
is, let me break it down.
It's like an
Jack
acid trip.
Kirby.
He was on acid and
Jack
LSD.
Kirby spent. Jack Kirby had been writing comics since, or had been drawing comics. I don't know if he had gotten in the late 30s, but definitely early 40s he had been drawing comics. And he'd been in the industry for a while, but when he got with Stan Lee and did Fantastic Four, that kicked off the Marvel boom, and that's what he's well known for, even though he did create Captain America with Joe Simon. So he was a veteran in the field already, but when he got with Marvel, that's what he's most known for. Hulk, Iron Man, the Avengers, Ant-Man, Thor, Wasp, Black Panther, Galactus, Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom. The list goes on and on. Loki.
Yeah.
These are all characters him and Stan co-created. So when he left Marvel for DC, it was the biggest thing ever. And his first project was The Fourth World. And The Fourth World was the overarching story given to 4 series that told the story of the new gods. It's a lot.
Read it.
Just go read it. Please go seriously. Go read it if you haven't read it.
I was gonna say,
top
as much as I'm making
tier
fun of
comic
Justin,
books.
it is good stuff. Good stuff.
But so the new gods detailed the battle between Apocalypse and New Genesis head on. That is a great comic, great series, and the effects are still felt today. If you're going to adapt this, do it correctly.
And I'll agree with them. I think I like the Steppenwolf design with horns.
It's fine. Just make it look good.
I think one thing you would like is like more humanoid new guys. Is that what you're?
I would, but even if you're not gonna do that, adapt the style.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do New Gods, make it look it, because that's one thing. Even if you don't like the stories, or even if you don't think Jack Kirby's art is good, he has style. He has a look. He has a design. And if you're going to adapt these characters, use these unique designs. The New Gods don't look like anyone else except for other people Jack Kirby created, specifically the Eternals.
Yeah.
But the New Gods look very unique. They have a cool look, and when you just make them look like anyone else, Steppenwolf, it could be Ares. Steppenwolf could be Doomsday. Steppenwolf could be whoever. It's not a unique design. It's not a good look.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And it's stupid. It spikes. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's why I prefer the overall design over the original or the 2017 movie. I think in terms of CGI, it was better.
Here's the other thing. I don't think the effects are all that great in this. They're better than 2017.
I was just gonna say it's not as bad as 2017 was.
There were a lot of stuff where I was like,
there was a lot.
That doesn't look too great.
There was a lot, but again, with Steppenwolf, I do like this new design over the 2017 design. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's the best. I think it's better than what we got before. It didn't look great, but we will transition that into our actual favorite part of the movie.
Okay, the flashback in this lasts longer. And it's much better.
Ooh, that one thing, if you don't like Zack Snyder, the one thing you can give him is he does good battle scenes. Not fight scenes, battle scenes. Like, whoo.
He knocked out the park with this one. This sequence, I could watch this part over and over. The movie is kicking bricks. But this part is awesome. It's off the hook.
Great. The gods.
Green Lantern. Just seeing the massive army. Joss Whedon's cut out all the men of color.
I did not know
their armies. In this version, you have like African armies. Yeah. You have Asian armies joining with the Greek and I guess Celtic. British armies. Okay. The more traditional, knights and King Arthur looking cats. Yeah. But so you actually, it's all the armies of man came together with Atlantis and the Amazons and the gods and the Green Lantern.
Man, it was dope.
They sent one Green Lantern.
Yeah, the Guardians was like, Darkseid? Yikes. Ooh. Hey, bro, you got this?
You said you good? Nah.
He's like, I need backup. What? Your connection's bad.
Huh? Nah, I can't hear him.
New ring, who this? No, they...
The Guardian you are trying to reach is no longer inside. No, I hear you, man.
I ain't gonna laugh at Gambit. You better respond to me.
Send me help. Please.
Send everybody. But no, that scene was sweet.
But no, that scene was awesome.
Me and Justin are like, we like reading into like Greek mythology a lot. Like he's collecting the Olympian comic books right now. That tell about like each Olympian's like story basically. And so for me personally, like seeing the gods in there, I thought that was awesome. Seeing more of them than was in the original movie, I thought that was pretty nice. They could have done more, but if
you're gonna make a 4-hour movie,
you
can give us a good 20 minutes of this.
Yeah, that scene could have been much longer than it was.
This is what we want. Cut out all that other crap.
Cut out the other 4 hours. Just give us a movie of this. Which honestly, bro,
he made 300. He could pull this off.
He would. Dog. Hashtag.
This is what we want. I don't want.
Release the real Snyder cut.
This is the problem with Zack Snyder. He's very good at what he does, but what he does is not traditional superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
300, like I said,
300 is
is a classic. Might have been the first R-rated. No. Maybe the first R-rated movie we seen uncensored.
I guess we did watch a lot of CW.
We watched The Godfather multiple times. I think it was either always on TV, or if we got it, my dad would be like, "Leave the room." All right, come back.
Fast forward.
No, he would make us get up and leave so he could get through and then get to the parts we could watch. He was a good father. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. Dad, if you're listening,
they're gonna be in the comments like, "Oh,
they're gonna be in the comments lighting pop up."
Godfather, multiple times. But
it was the TV version.
Yeah,
everyone was watching it.
Oh my gosh! But no, this scene was definitely the best.
Y'all was watching Family Guy. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, y'all don't judge us. Shoot. The flashback scene when Darkseid first showed up to Earth was amazing. I will point out the strongest thing that I didn't like, that I'm pretty sure Justin will agree with me. Darkseid was a punk in that first fight.
Okay, here's the thing though. I've thought about it a little bit. If anybody's gonna handle Darkseid, it's other gods.
I'll give you that.
That's when I was laying awake at night, and the Lord did not allow the sleep to overtake me. I was like, how are two gods got? Huh? Okay.
I just feel like,
that being said,
Darkseid could have done more, because like in the comics, like Darkseid is bad.
Darkseid got in the New 52. He got stabbed in the eyes and
Both
was like,
eyes.
"Okay,
Both
he
eyes.
slept everybody."
Yeah, that was New 52 Justice League, which I highly recommend.
We getting work, man.
No, yeah, Aquaman stabbed him in like his left eye. Wonder Woman got him in the other one. Like they was still like, "Yo, we can't stop, dude."
Batman was like, "Superman, go help them, man." You know I can't do nothing.
What you looking at me for?
Get up.
No, like I think it would have been cool in that fight scene. Like that's a great point actually, which I didn't think about. Like yeah, the gods Zeus and Ares definitely could.
If anyone's gonna take down a
that
god,
makes sense.
That being said, it should have been more.
It should,
because this is Darkseid. This is supposed to be the baddest cat around.
It would have been nice to see, maybe not all the Olympians, but you know, most of them. Like cause we got Ares, we got Zeus, and we got Artemis, right?
I think so.
It would have been sweet to see like Athena, Hades, Poseidon. If they called out like the big hitters, that would have been sweet. But yeah, that I didn't think about that last night. That's a really good point. But like that being said, like he didn't use his Omega beams at all. He I feel like they could have stopped him. They definitely nerfed him. I think he should have put up more of a fight. Because even after Ares like mollywopped him with his axe, like he was like, "Ugh," and then went to sleep. Like I was like, dog, like you didn't even fight. That's what I didn't like. Cause like in the comics, I look at Darkseid. I'm like, Darkseid's like the baddest of the bad. Like don't nobody wants to go up against Darkseid because like Superman's like one of the only guys who can like go up like toe to toe with him.
Besides other,
besides the other guys,
there's like, and even the other new guys are like,
they're like, let's not aggravate him, you know, let's stay on his good side. So that was a disappointing part to that, but other than that, the rest of the scene was just beautiful. It was amazing.
So they moving on. They get to the place where all the hostages are being kept. They're upstairs. And they walk up the stairs. At least half the team can fly. And they're just like,
I was gonna say
Batman's leading
Batman's
the way.
leading them, which
The
he could have used his
slow-
grapple gun. Wonder Woman can fly, Cyborg can fly, Flash can. He's up the stairs in half a second.
Someone grab Aquaman. Or Aquaman
Aquaman wasn't
even
even there.
So they walked though
They walked up the stairs
to go
one
save
of,
innocent victims.
one
People could have
of
died,
the
man.
Funniest scenes in the movie. They were just like, ugh, we made it. Ghostbusters. What floor are we on?
Let me know when we get to 20. I'm gonna throw up.
It was very stupid because like even like if you like pull up comics, like if Batman's like, look, stairs, I'm gonna pull out my grapple gun. I'm not walking up these stairs.
They had no urgency. No urgency.
Hostages, man, this is nice. We'll take the scenic route.
Come on, it's leg day. We gotta tone these butts.
Man, that was. And then when they had to cross the bridge, they went like
One at a time.
One at a time. Like Flash ran across, Wonder Woman jumped across. Like it was like an epic jump. It's like a 5-foot jump. You just.
I can do that.
Batman ran, got his little running head start. I'm
if
like,
Batman can do it, then we all this should have been 3 seconds max. And this is what like it's stuff like that stretches the runtime.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, Zack.
Zachary, come on.
All you had to do was say they're up there. Cut to the next scene.
They're at the
They're
top.
approaching
Yeah.
to where they're being held. We can piece together how they got there.
Bro, you know, we should edit the movie. make it better.
Okay, I made this note. This is going to take us back to Darkseid.
Yeah.
But Ares beat Darkseid.
Uh-huh.
Wonder Woman beat Ares.
So Wonder Woman can be done.
Wonder Woman should watch Darkseid. It's math.
But she didn't wash. I guess she didn't wash Ares until the end of the fight. You gonna tell me that until the end of the fight she
Okay.
wasn't washing Ares?
That's because she didn't know her power. Once she discovered her true power,
Yeah,
she was just like, "Oh, you're done."
Because if you look at that, because Ares was like, although Ares didn't beat Darkseid until Artemis shot him in the chest like twice. Zeus was like blasting him with lightning, and then he like came up and was like, ah.
I said what I said.
But because I was gonna say
Wonder
like,
Woman's powers are very inconsistent. She can't take Steppenwolf.
she definitely
Really?
could have taken Steppenwolf.
Really?
Definitely.
That part is still a problem from 2017.
Her not being able to take Steppenwolf.
No, the League. What's the point of the League if Superman can just do everything?
True. Wonder Woman can do it too. Like that she should have been able to take Steppenwolf. Like dang, like I didn't even see you was putting some. You was up late at night, like.
No, I did that during the movie.
Oh my
I wrote
goodness.
that.
That's. She definitely could take Darkseid. That's what I'm saying. Like Darkseid was like he was a punk in this movie, and I hate it. Even still, like
The point
Darkseid is supposed to
stands.
be like the best.
Darkseid.
And that's like another thing that like makes me even more like mad to the core is that like the MCU fanboys are like, oh, Thanos would have won.
Oh, they won this
Darkseid.
one. They won.
It's like, but that's not
They won.
Darkseid. Like.
They won.
And it makes me so. Because I was talking to one of my coworkers at work. I was like, because he doesn't read comics like that. So I was explaining to him. I was like, Thanos up to Darkseid. Like Darkseid whoops him every day. But these movies are like, now we got this Darkseid is like, it's sad. You
We
let me
lost
down,
that.
man. I vouched for you. You let me down.
That fight is over.
Man,
That fight is over. That's why the best Darkseid outside of the comics is still the Justice League animated series, or that whole universe, Superman animated series, into Justice League.
Yeah, that Darkseid was.
You haven't watched those series. Batman's on HBO Max. Batman Beyond's on HBO Max. Superman will be up there shortly. I don't know about the Justice League stuff. Static, hopefully, will get up there as well. Or you could just buy them on DVD. Like I said, though, it looks awesome. Snyder knows how to make stuff look cool, but often it's at the expense of the story. And honestly, it's the least you can do. Give us a story that's good with effects that are good. You don't compromise the story for a shot, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the characters in each version. Wonder Woman, I thought was great in both versions.
I don't think she changed much between the versions. I'd say I was trying to think.
Batman sucked in both.
Oh my gosh.
Superman is useless in both. I mean, not useless to he saves the day, but he doesn't do it like that. That's it.
The rest of the
His
movie
character
just,
is not
he's the
used
MacGuffin of
besides to be saved or to the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
He comes in, beats up Steppenwolf, makes the rest of the league pointless.
Yes. I think the stuff with Superman.
I'm right.
Well, I'm just like as a whole throughout in like both movies, it made sense for him to. I guess in this movie it kind of explained more, not explained, because it didn't explain anything about why he was like so violent when he came back to life. They could have just dropped off like he might come back aggressive. Be careful, like a warning or something. But like, there's nothing that explained why he was just so mad when he came back.
What did they do to make this mad?
Yeah, they just like he just came back and he was grumpy. Like I don't. I mean, I guess you could be like, oh, the last thing he did was fight Doomsday or whatever.
There's no,
but there's like
good
nobody
reason.
said that like ever. Like, and there's no proof that like because he died fighting Doomsday, he's like gonna come back like in that like state of emergency. So that didn't make sense.
He wasn't. He came back, stared at those monuments for
Pretty
a
much like
couple
what
of
he did in the
minutes,
other movie.
and he was like, "Okay." Then he turned around and was like, "I choose violence because all of you,
You're a black man."
and the black man, a woman,
Highlander,
a woman."
get out of my sight.
Aquaman is just kind of there.
Aquaman was dumb.
They take away his fun personality from the other one, and he's just like, Arr.
Yeah, it was, and the whole storyline about like, oh, you might be bad because you were made by a mother box, which I think
Didn't
still
go
is
anywhere.
dumb. It didn't go. There was no point of having it in this movie because like he said it once. He was like, "How do we know you're on our side?" And then he was like, "My dad made me" or whatever. And then like later in the movie, he was like, "We're gonna ask this kid to go up against like the Trinity after his dad just died. That's messed up." I'm like, so where are
Pick
you
a
at,
side,
man?
my guy.
Like, it just didn't make sense.
No, it did not. Flash, like I said, I just want to see a good Flash.
Although, I must say, Martian Manhunter was pretty cool. Useless. But cool.
Dang, y'all. Oh, y'all already fought him?
Dog.
Oh, that's my bad. Y'all should have said something earlier.
Like he was out there like messing around with Lois, like, oh, go back to work. Although,
No.
no, it doesn't make. I was gonna say it makes sense, like, cause like she had to be there to like help Superman. But
She was going there
gonna be
every day.
anyways. That's what I was just about to say.
Doesn't
She was
matter.
going there anyway. So if that's what he was going for, he wasted Martian. It would have been sweet to see Martian just like going in on people.
What's the point of throwing him in the movie and then being, when it's time to show your worth, just like, I would, but I got to get back to the military base. Old Carrie Ferris is waiting for me to look at some satellite pictures, and
Yeah, it was.
I'll catch y'all on the next one, though. Next one, Justice League 2.
Next one's on me.
in.
Next one's on me. All right. It was cool to see him. I'm not gonna lie. I love Martian,
Okay,
but yeah.
the Bat Tank. I thought that was from the Nightmare sequence. This man, Batman, has a tank that's the size of a small shack. It's a garage-sized vehicle that he has driven into the city
To catch like
to
three.
catch like 6 guys. There's regular guys
Now, this is.
in regular time.
I will not refute or. What's the word? Rebuttal your argument about Zack just reading Dark Knight Returns. Because it was.
If that's your favorite movie, just say that. You can make it. We'll let you make it. We don't care. Just don't.
It was cool to see because the back tank, it was sweet back in the Dark Knight Returns.
Like, you hate Superman.
But it was pointless.
You like everything in
He
that
said you
book.
hate Superman.
Make that freaking movie.
No, yeah, that I can't fight you with that anymore because there was no reason to have the bat tank. It was just like, oh, we're panning over. Aha, Batman on top of the bat tank. There's like
I saw it.
like you could like maybe have like Bane in front of the bat tank or something like that, and
in
I'd
the
be okay
trailer,
with that.
I was like, okay, the bat tank. This is gonna be in the nightmare sequence.
Yeah.
But it's just 6 guys.
It was
maybe less.
pointless.
Just tied up in front of it, and Batman's like, look at the destruction I've wrought.
You did this. You broke into that old lady's apartment. You did this.
You stole $10.
Feel my wrath.
Y'all gonna pay for this one.
Like just bought the whole tank. I was like, oh yeah, we gotta run for the cops. Like, what's that? What's that rumbling sound? Like, tank comes like busting out of the building.
No, Batman, please. We're sorry. You got the wrong guys.
You could look at the background of that picture and like things were on fire.
Batman did that.
And destroyed
Without
like,
a doubt.
a whole block.
If this is the same Batman
To get a few
from
cat
Batman
burglars.
versus Superman, Batman has destroyed a community.
Man.
And for what?
And then the nightmare sequence was like,
Okay. Before we move there,
all right, yeah, we'll save that.
let's wrap up. Any other thoughts about the movie?
The cyborg story I thought was very interesting, and I think they did really well with it. I think they did really well with the stuff, not the movie for it. The way they did Cyborg in the first movie was good. A brief
No, it wasn't.
like you didn't like the way they did it there either.
Not his portrayal. What are you talking about?
I'm talking
Are
about
you
like
his
the way they
origin?
did. Yeah, like a brief like, oh, I got messed up. I'm part of Mother Box now, and then
His origin, I was fine with.
the origin. I like that.
In this one, this is the problem with this movie existing, and I don't want to compare it to Marvel. Like, Marvel is gods of filmmaking if you're not following their example. But I mean, to not give these characters time to be introduced and time for the audiences to see who they are, to get to know them, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Because now we've got to sit with these brand new characters, and you either have to give us a good introduction to them and give us their origin here, or make them interesting, compelling characters and let us say, okay, I want to find out more about this person. Flash, I don't want to find out more about this person. And that's not a slight against Ezra Miller. I think the script he has to work with is dumb. I don't know. I don't like this characterization of the Flash. Somebody said he was a Tom Holland light.
What? He was Tom Holland.
Spider-Man.
Tom Holland light.
The poor man's Tom Holland.
That's
Accurate is the word you're looking for, my sir. Because it's true. And with Aquaman, like I said, the first version of Aquaman that we got in 2017, I like him.
I loved it. Yeah,
He's stupid. He's fun. I was like, okay, I can go watch your solo movie. With Cyborg in the first movie, absolutely wasted him. Lots of racism was involved there for sure.
Yeah.
But Cyborg here, I feel like, give us flashes of his past. Don't actually deal it out and then save that for his solo movie. Let us give us morsels. Just let us get just a little bit.
Dabbling into it.
Just let us dabble. And then and then just keep his personality intact, keep his character intact, then give us his origin in his solo movie.
Yeah, that probably would have been better. Or that would have been better. But no, that's why I was saying, like, in the first Justice League, not his characterization, but the way they went about the origin, I thought worked pretty well for the Justice League movie. With this one, they were just like, here's a new character. Here's what happened to him. Here's him, like, learning to live with, what he's going through. Like,
he had a whole power montage,
yeah, it was.
which this isn't the movie for it.
Yeah.
This is why the movie is 4 hours, because you have scenes that don't need to be there. Iris shouldn't have been. That scene was pointless.
It was again another, like, origin story kind of.
Put that in the Flash movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he was even gonna have the introduction of Atlantis before James Wan was like, "Look, man, look, I don't ask for much, but I'm gonna need this for the Aquaman movie."
Yeah.
If I'm seeing this time correctly, we are going very long. All right, so let's get into this nightmare sequence. I was under the impression that it was going to be much longer than it actually was.
I was too. Originally, or not originally.
And I wasn't a fan of that. Continue.
Yeah. When you told me during the movie that it was going to end on a cliffhanger, which it didn't.
It kind of does. And I don't know if this was from Zack Snyder. This was what I've seen on social media. He said
it ends on a cliffhanger, and then there was, like, at one point there was like 40 minutes left in the movie, and I was like, oh, so it's gonna end with the nightmare sequence.
Yeah.
But the nightmare sequence was like maybe 20 less. It had to have been less than 20 minutes. It was like 15.
It was the last couple of. It rounded out the film.
Yeah.
Closed it down.
It was a lot shorter than I really thought it was gonna be.
That being said, this is what Zack Snyder wanted to do from the jump. He did not want to make. Maybe he did want to make Man of Steel, but it didn't feel like he wanted to tell a true Superman story. He wants injustice. He wants Superman as a villain, because literally, whenever Superman is doing anything in Man of Steel and BVS, he's in pain. This man does not want to be Superman. Honestly, just give us Nightmare Universe. I don't care. And then branch that out and resolve it, and at the end of that be a branch out into a universe of films.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
That'd be pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's a little radical.
It would be
when Man of Steel came out, it would have been completely unheard of. But in this day and age, it's more feasible. Yeah, I like that team up.
Nightmare sequence.
Except for one person.
Batman. No.
They didn't. Leto and Batman weren't even in the room when they didn't shoot that scene together.
You're kidding.
I put that on Mama.
Dog, that's stupid.
At least that's what I read on. That's what I read.
Impressive. I won't lie.
That man with that camera, I was like, set it still. Please, I'm begging you.
The
just
focus,
put it down.
It was
and don't touch it.
Literally on Jared Leto for a good, like, almost 10 seconds out of focus.
I was like,
is this
not art? For a Batman who murdered people, branded people so that they would be murdered, took a box, flung it at a man, smashed him in the head, and then propelled him backwards into a wall where his skull shattered.
Yeah, that's what killed him.
For that Batman to let Joker be alive after he killed Robin is stupid.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Apparently Harley Quinn dies in this timeline, and she dies in Batman's arms, and she begs him to kill the Joker slowly and painfully. That's... Whew. Then you know what? I admire Zack Snyder because he said, this might be the end of this universe, and Batman and Joker have not interacted yet.
He said,
Let's just do
"We'll
it.
do it live."
So I give him props. Like I said, I like Zack Snyder. I really wanted to like this movie more than I did, but there was so many times where I was like, this can't keep going.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. It was at a point where like you're watching it and like you're like, oh yeah, the movie's almost over. Like we're only at the hour and like 30-minute mark. Like wow.
Like this, you shave it down to 3 hours. I can take that.
Yeah, 3 hours isn't bad.
3 hours is solid. I don't think I've ever watched a 4-hour movie.
Yeah, this
Ben-Hur, Ten Commandments, they're all like 3-hour epics. Scorsese's films, 3 hours. And this is exhausting, especially when there's so many scenes that aren't necessary.
Mhm.
And that's what I feel this movie's greatest sin is that there's so much unnecessary clutter. And there's a lot of cool ideas, cool sequences, cool scenes, but it's all lost in this extra clutter that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that there's so much that could be cut out. And like I know we've talked about it a bunch. About like Steppenwolf saying like, I found the third box. The parademons are searching for it. Like he says that twice in the movie. He's not talking about different boxes. He's talking about the
A
same
lot of
box.
scenes repeat themselves.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where we see a character and we don't get any new knowledge about them as a person, about the plot, about their goals, about their nothing. It's just repetition, and it just pushes the runtime for no reason.
Yeah, no, it was a tough watch. So how many stars do you give this, Justin, out of 5? We'll say it at the same time. You ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 2.5.
2.
Oh!
I was gonna go 2.5, but I can't do it. I can't give it 2.5.
No, yeah, I was gonna say 2, but I was like, oh, he might give it more credit then. That's crazy, bro.
I gotta go 2.
Man, no, yeah, that it's a disappointing movie. I went in with very high hopes.
I went in thinking
I went into this movie the same way Justin went into Wonder Woman 84, which is why I think I'm more hurt than he is.
okay, but Wonder Woman 84 did not have a prior release that was also terrible.
But like, it had an excuse to be better, or it had a reason to be better. It's like the first movie was like, okay, there are 2 different contradicting directors.
Hold on. Here's the thing about the Snyder Cut.
They wanted Zachary to finish his work.
No, they wanted him to release a work that they had assumed was finished and that was better. And this is technically better, but it's 4 hours long and it's boring.
It was very boring. I think with the 2017, there was at least like action to fill those spaces.
By the time we get to that triumphant part in the third act, where they are all together and the 5 of them unite and they're in Russia, the Russian city, and they all get together and they get that group shot and they're all going to get. By that, I was so burnt out. I was just like, whatever. How long is left? 40 minutes? Are you kidding me?
Literally, so like it was like heartbreaking to see like oh, we're getting through the movie, we're at the end of the movie, there's an hour left.
You
what?
can't enjoy the moments because you're like, I sat through 3 hours of nothing.
Some scenes dragged on a lot long because I remember the scene with when they attacked Themyscira to get the mother box. That whole like fight scene of them against the parademons didn't have to happen. And then there was the extra like tension of like oh hit the pillars down so that the gates drop. And then like, oh, a parademon grabbed Apollo's leg. That didn't have to be in there. You didn't have to have that added tension. There's already tension.
Especially when it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't add
Exactly.
anything.
Like Steppenwolf is already there. He's already come for the mother box. So just let that be like, oh, she needs to get away. But like now you have little stuff like, oh, she has to save this Amazon. She's got a parademon on her leg. Making big problems out of nothing almost. That like made scenes that shouldn't have been as long as they were longer.
I'm probably not gonna watch this movie again when they release the clips online, or if they release a DVD, I might get that and fast forward through stuff, use scene selection,
Might just get to the flashback.
get to the flashback scene.
I've done that with Bumblebee so many times. Like the opening scene on Cybertron, I've just like put the DVD in, watch that, watch the like
Good
flashback
movie.
scene. Like, yeah, like when Prime was fighting the Decepticons. Like, yeah, that's the best part of that movie. And I just like, all right, we're done here. Like that's probably what's gonna happen with this movie.
Okay, the last thing we're gonna touch on, because this is going on forever.
Is
You think we're gonna restore the Snyderverse?
I don't. I genuinely do not. I think that with everything that's gone on within WB and like all the changes that are being made and everything, I don't think people are like, especially like with the actors too. I don't like unless I'm wrong. I haven't heard anything about Henry Cavill coming back as Superman.
As far as we know, he's done with
Yeah.
Superman.
And
They're
so-
trying to move beyond, which sucks because
He
he
did such a
deserves.
great
He
job.
give him one
He
good Superman movie.
they should like throw like I don't know who could direct it, but
I'll do it.
he said I'll
I
do
can
it.
clear my
I mean,
schedule.
Henry Cavill did such a great job with Superman. It makes me sad, like really, like he's not coming back to do another Superman movie because he was so.
I think
like,
he looks good, but I've never seen him in the role and been like, that's Superman. Because he always looks like he wants to murder all the humans. Because his dad told him that humans are terrible.
His dad was like, "Yeah, bro. Some people just don't save them, man. You know, keep yourself secret."
I want to know what other people thought.
Yeah.
Were you? And I want to know. I want to know who's enjoying this, and did you want to / did you expect to enjoy? Because a lot of people are digging it, and if you are, awesome. What did you like about it? Why are you leaning more towards the positive? Because anything else?
I'm sad. I wanted it to be good, and they let me down. But
That's life. Well, thank you all for tuning in, through this long episode.
we appreciate it.
We're going to get another episode out for y'all Monday. And then from here on out, we'll probably be dropping one a week, Mondays. And yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
all right,
we're gonna
everybody.
go ahead and wrap up.
Thank you for tuning in. I've been Justin. He's been Mo.
Yes,
We will
sir.
see you next time.
Peace.